So do you just want to start by telling us who you are, what your channel is, and what it's all about?
Okay. Well, my name's Craig. My channel is Cancer at Kona. I set the channel up for probably about a year ago, around about the start of lockdown last year when all this COVID stuff started. And basically, it actually started out kind of a little bit out of the blue. Years ago, I thought about getting into triathlon and doing an Ironman. And when I tried to combine running and cycling, because I've always ran, my knees didn't agree with it very well. So I kind of dropped the cycling to pursue the running, which is what I was better at. And we had, when lockdown kind of started last year, we were having a little bit of a street party outside actually. And I got talking to an old guy who was our neighbour's dad. And he was a member of the local tri club. And he was sat there and he had a Ironman finisher's tattoo on the back of his leg. So I sort of spotted that and I thought, I recognise that, and had a little chat with him. And as you do when you've had a few beers, you think, I could do one of them, why not? Jeremy Clarkson's School of Thought, how hard could it be? So pretty much that day I went home and I signed up for Bolton. So yeah, it was kind of a bit of a spur of the moment thing actually after talking to Mick from the Tri Club. And so shortly after that, we were furloughed. I didn't have anything else to do, so I basically spent the entire summer just training. And I'd signed up for Bolton this year, so I haven't had to defer, thankfully, which is nice.
That's right,
yeah, so it was. I had plenty of time to train for it, and that was kind of how it all started. Really, the channel was kind of set up. Was actually on the advice of one of my doctors. When I first got diagnosed with my brain tumour, it was obviously. Well, probably anybody who's been through any sort of health scare, it's quite stressful. And one of my doctors, he spoke about either blogging about it or writing or keeping a diary or something like that. And my son's obsessed with YouTube, basically. I've got an 10-year-old son, so he loves YouTube, he loves YouTubers, and I thought, it's a good way for us to do some daft things, make some little videos. And and then at the same time, it's quite cathartic to kind of it takes your mind off the stress of the health element of it and keeps you occupied. So yeah, it was a bit of a 2-for-1 kind of thing. The idea of the channel is not only to just kind of hopefully sort of tell my story and try and get it out there a little bit, because probably before I was diagnosed and I looked into it very much, the only people I knew who had brain tumours, they were either severely ill or dead. And it was so when I first got diagnosed, your mind automatically goes to the worst case, and you kind of think you're going to go down a pretty awful route. And when I spoke to the consultants and the surgeons a little bit more, it's actually, if you're lucky enough, to be honest, I was very lucky with mine, you can actually be perfectly manageable. And the idea behind the channel was to try and give that side of it, was to say that, it can be a life-limiting condition, but it doesn't have to be a life-ending condition. You can still sort of train and work hard and hopefully, fingers crossed, I haven't finished yet, but achieve something pretty cool. So it's and really just to try and reach out to the community and find other people who either had sort of serious health conditions and things like that, who were trying to train for these big events, not only just Ironman, things like ultra marathons and stuff like that. And it's been quite nice actually. I've met quite a few. I've met a few people who had MS and things like that, and other sort of brain conditions. I've met a few of the cancer survivors who've completed Ironman in actually really good time, some of them as well. So it's and that's kind of given me a lot of inspiration just to crack on with what I'm doing as well. So yeah, it's been quite cool actually.
Brilliant. And I think it's really nice just kind of get your story out there, and it helps other people and it helps to inspire other people as well. So it's brilliant, and I'm definitely enjoying watching the videos and listening to them as I'm doing my own cycling and things. So what I've got now are 13 quickfire questions to find out a bit more, and I actually have a bonus question for you as well. So I'm ready to get started if you are.
Yep, let's go.
Perfect. So the first one, do you measure in miles or kilometres?
It depends. Miles for the bike, but for some reason, kilometres for the run. I find the pacing a little bit easier for running in kilometres, but on the bike I like miles for some reason. I don't know why.
There we go. Do you prefer on the road, the trail, or the track?
Trail running. Yeah, running for trails and biking on the road. Yeah.
Nice. The next one, do you prefer sports nutrition or real food?
Or real food, 100%.
Do you prefer flat routes or hilly routes?
Ooh, that's a hard one, that, actually. Probably a bit of a mix of both. Not too climbing, but yeah, I do nearly all my riding on a TT bike, so yeah, if it's too hilly, it starts to become a bit of a leg acre. So.
Then the next one, do you prefer training late in the evening or early in the morning?
Later. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think I go out early in the morning out of necessity, basically. But yeah, I'd prefer to train in the afternoon.
What's the one race you would really like to do? So your bucket list race?
Ooh. Other than Kona, probably Ironman Lanzarote. I think. Yeah, Lanzarote would be fantastic, I think.
Do you prefer short, fast training sessions or long endurance training sessions?
Ooh. I'd say the short ones, short, hard ones. Yeah.
Do you train with or without music?
No, I don't take music with me anymore. I used to, but I find it hard to keep a pace with a drum beat going.
Do you stretch regularly, yes or no?
Yeah, usually only after a session. I wouldn't do it if I wasn't training, then I wouldn't. But yeah, after every session, I try to.
Do you prefer hot weather or cold weather?
Oh, hot, 100%.
And the next one, do you prefer an isotonic drink or plain water?
Yeah, sports drink, isotonic. Yeah.
Nice. And the next one, what's your go-to post-race food or meal?
Ooh, post-race food. I like spaghetti bolognese. So pasta bolognese. Yeah, I think that's exactly that one. So.
And then, if you couldn't do your current sport, what would your alternative sport be?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I'm not sure. I played football when I was younger, and I had to stop when I had the brain up, so I'm not allowed to hit a ball anymore. But yeah, if I could still play football, I'd play football. Yeah.
And then, because you take part in obviously multi-sport events and you do triathlons, you get the bonus question. Which is your least favourite discipline out of the three?
Oh, probably have to go with the masses and almost say the swim, I think. It's so technique focused, and it's not something I've done a huge deal of. And like a lot of triathletes, I've got very sinky legs, which makes it a lot more difficult. So yeah, it's got to be the swim, I think.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the most common answer, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah. That's all of my questions, and yeah, thank you for taking the time to chat with me.
No, that sounds brilliant. Yeah, no, thanks very much for giving us a chance, and yeah, enjoyed it. Yeah, like I say, I mean, I really like the idea of just trying to get sort of different people together and stuff, because I think when you scrape the surface away, there's some really interesting stories and interesting people who do this, and yeah, it's like you said, it's a nice little bit of inspiration, and it's kind of what got me into it anyway. So yeah, I mean, definitely, yeah, it's really cool. So.